Go, I beat you.
I love you. Say cheese.
At 22, Michaela Queen Patterson, known professionally as Ruby, was becoming a familiar name in Orlando's beauty industry. A licensed stylist and business owner with a growing online following, she was a single mother of two, managing her brand while raising young children. Her ambition was visible. Her progress was measurable. She was building something. But in the final hours of September 22nd, 2023, something went wrong. A confrontation broke out inside a residential courtyard. Witnesses would later report chaos, arguing, people recording, some running, others staying. Then came the sound of gunfire. Several individuals were injured. One did not survive. The victim was Ruby. Authorities arrived. Crime scene tape went up. Detectives interviewed residents. A suspect was eventually taken into custody. The charges were serious.
Fire erupted at the Jernigan Gardens apartments off Mercy Road. Today, co-workers and loved ones say 22-year-old Michaela Patterson was a hairstylist and a mom of two. News 6's Jerry Askin is live at Orlando Police Headquarters tonight with the latest from investigators. And Jerry, one man has been charged in this.
That's right, Lisa. Good evening. And right now we're asking Orlando police if they plan to make any more arrests and more about that man who was charged. This happening as we are finding out more about that woman who was shot. You mentioned she was a young mother of two, and her coworkers say she had a bright future.
But questions quickly began to circulate. Was this a planned attack or a spontaneous eruption? Why was Ruby there? What were the circumstances leading up to that moment? In the days that followed, fragments of information began to surface. Some from police, others from social media, witness videos, theories, family statements, conflicting claims. A mother said the man arrested wasn't the true killer. Others went silent. What happened in that courtyard? Who was really involved? And what are people not saying? Stay with us as we unravel this shocking story and uncover the heartbreaking details of what led to this senseless loss. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? And what are your thoughts as the story unfolds? Welcome to True Crime Tales, where we reveal the crimes that shock communities and the secrets hidden behind closed doors. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's begin. Michaela Queen Patterson, known professionally as Ruby or Ruby Keir, was a 22-year-old licensed cosmetologist based in Orlando, Florida. Her professional identity was deeply tied to her online presence and personal brand, which she built from the ground up. As the founder of curated.com, she specialized in custom wigs, lace installs, and hair extensions, offering both local and online services. Her Instagram profile, which had accumulated over 11,000 followers, featured detailed transformation videos, client testimonials, and promotional content. Ruby's marketing focused on visibility and aesthetic quality, utilizing Instagram Reels and YouTube tutorials to grow her client base and influence in the beauty industry. Outside of her business, Ruby was a single mother to two sons, Messiah, age 5, and Zion, age 4. She raised them on her own, balancing the dual responsibilities of parenting and entrepreneurship. According to those who interacted with her business, she was highly organized with appointments, punctual, and driven by consistent work ethic. She operated out of Envy Hair Design Salon, where her neon business sign lit up her station, indicating an effort to build recognizable branding even at a local level. Despite her social media success, Ruby's private life was rarely disclosed online. Her posts featured her work, children, and beauty tips, but offered little insight into personal relationships or conflicts. Offline, individuals familiar with her business described her as quiet, focused, and about her bag. She maintained a polished image that mirrored her professional goals. There is no public record of prior criminal history, substance abuse, or domestic disputes. Ruby's name was not associated with controversy, though she did attract attention for her quick rise in the local beauty industry, a sector that can be highly competitive. It is unclear if she had ongoing personal disputes or rivalries with other stylists or clients. Ruby's ability to maintain this balance, motherhood, business, and online influence, required high-functioning discipline. She booked back-to-back clients, created content during downtime, and frequently promoted sales and booking links. Her aesthetic choices, such as neon signage and branded apparel, signaled a long-term vision toward expansion. The incident occurred at Jernigan Gardens apartments in West Orlando, a complex located off Mercy Drive. This area is historically known for low-income housing, high population turnover, and periodic instances of violent altercations. The complex has been referenced in past police activity reports involving domestic disputes, gun violence, and drug-related arrests. On the evening of September 22, 2023, a physical altercation broke out in the central courtyard area of the complex. Video clips posted later on social media platforms appear to show a group of individuals engaging in a verbal dispute that escalated into a brawl involving multiple participants. The cause of the fight remains unclear, but investigators stated that the argument turned physical before weapons were drawn. Ruby was present at the scene during the confrontation. Her connection to the apartment complex is unconfirmed. She did not live there, according to reports. There are two likely explanations for her presence. She may have arrived with someone else involved in the dispute. She may have been called to the scene, either for support or to resolve an ongoing conflict. Ruby's name was not known to police in connection with prior disturbances at the location. Eyewitnesses described the brawl as sudden and uncontained, involving both men and women. The exact number of participants remains unknown, but 4 people were shot, including Ruby. Multiple gunshots were heard. Witness accounts mention at least 6 to 8 rounds. 3 others sustained non-life-threatening injuries, according to Orlando Police Department press statements. Why was Ruby at that apartment complex that night, and who knew she'd be there? The first 911 call came just after 9 p.m. on September 22, 2023. Dispatchers received reports of gunshots fired at the Jernigan Gardens apartments in West Orlando. Multiple units from the Orlando Police Department responded within minutes. Upon arrival, officers discovered a chaotic scene. A group of individuals gathered near the courtyard, several visibly injured, and one woman unresponsive on the ground. Emergency medical responders arrived shortly after law enforcement. The unresponsive woman, later identified as 22-year-old Michaela Queen Patterson, known professionally as Ruby, was transported to Orlando Regional Medical Center, where she was later pronounced dead.
On Mercy Drive, that shooting left a young mother dead and sent 3 others to the hospital. West 2's Bob Hazen has a look at the arrest affidavit that details how it all went down.
It's been described as a chain reaction shooting. One young man who's here in jail now opening fire, then several other people shooting as well, and a young woman was killed.
These pictures show the chaotic fight and guns pulled out at the Jernigan Gardens apartments on Mercy Drive on September 22nd, the day Michaela Patterson was shot and killed. The black and white images are from court documents for the second person arrested for the shooting.
3 other individuals sustained non-life-threatening gunshot wounds and were treated at the scene or nearby facilities. Officers immediately secured the area, establishing a perimeter around the apartment complex courtyard. Witnesses were separated and questioned. Initial statements pointed to a verbal argument that escalated into a physical altercation before shots were fired. Several residents mentioned seeing a man with a firearm during the brawl. Investigators collected physical evidence from the scene, including multiple shell casings consistent with handgun ammunition. Several bystanders had recorded portions of the incident on their cell phones. Investigators also obtained surveillance footage from cameras mounted on nearby buildings. Additionally, a number of mobile devices were confiscated for digital forensic analysis. Despite the number of people present, cooperation from the community was limited. Many individuals were reluctant to provide details, citing fear of retaliation or distrust of law enforcement. Detectives relied heavily on footage and forensics to establish a timeline. 4 days later, on September 26, 23-year-old Delray Shundale Duncan Jr. was arrested. He was charged with first-degree felony murder and attempted homicide in connection to the shooting. Law enforcement claimed that Duncan was identified through video footage and corroborating witness statements.
Gary Williams III, 18 years old, and in jail alongside Delray Duncan Jr. We've also learned more about what led up to the shooting. Investigators say Patterson had called her brother and cousin for help because she was being jumped at Jernigan Gardens. Surveillance cameras at the complex caught the crowd gathered for the fight. When her relatives got there, investigators say that crowd moved toward them. Duncan allegedly fired at them. That started a chain reaction with other people shooting as well. Detectives believe Williams fired the shot while Patterson was right in front of him. She was hit in the head and died. 3 other people were injured too, including Duncan, who was dropped off at the hospital and arrested a short time later. Williams was on the run until yesterday when OPD's fugitive squad caught him. Both young men now facing charges for murder and attempted murder.
Both Williams and Duncan are being held without bond. Reporting at the Orange County Jail, Bob Hazen, West 2 News.
According to police, he was among the individuals involved in the altercation and was seen brandishing a firearm. Public records do not indicate any confirmed prior relationship between Duncan and Ruby. Investigators have not stated if they knew each other personally, but social media activity suggests they may have had mutual acquaintances. At the time of his arrest, Duncan did not publicly confess to the shooting. His statements, if any, were withheld from the public, and his legal representation declined to comment on the nature of his defense. Ruby's mother made a public statement days later, appearing in a brief video posted on social media. In her words, "They charged that boy, but I'm telling you right now, he is not the one who pulled the trigger. The real shooter is still out there." Her claim cast doubt over the arrest and suggested that more individuals may have been involved in the shooting, or that the wrong suspect was apprehended. To date, the Orlando Police Department has not issued further clarification regarding additional suspects or whether the investigation remains active. The charges against Duncan remain, but public access to detailed case files has been limited. This has led to growing concern about transparency in the case and whether key facts are being withheld. The lack of full disclosure raises a critical question. Within hours of the shooting, the news of Ruby's death spread across Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. She wasn't just a local stylist. She was a known figure in Orlando's beauty scene, and her name held weight among aspiring entrepreneurs and young mothers alike. On social platforms, dozens of users began reposting clips of the fight that had been captured moments before the shooting. Some videos showed pushing and yelling. Others cut off as gunshots rang out. The lack of context led to widespread speculation. Was the fight personal? Was Ruby the target? Or did she try to break it up? Who else was armed? False narratives quickly spread. Some claimed Ruby had been involved in a feud with others at the complex. Others alleged she was ambushed. As more users weighed in, theories outpaced facts. Friends, clients, and influencers flooded Ruby's last Instagram post with comments. Many referred to her as an inspiration. Her Instagram stories, which had shown her preparing hair and wigs hours before the shooting, were viewed thousands of times after her death, turning from routine business posts into haunting digital relics. Her past posts revealed little indication of fear or tension. Ruby had often shared motivational captions, promotional content, and occasional pictures with her sons. But a few older posts referenced jealousy and people trying to block blessings, which some users interpreted as indirect references to personal drama. Family members and friends publicly mourned her loss, many stating that she had no enemies and didn't deserve what happened.
Making strides to better herself as a whole, better herself personally, better herself as a mother, and better herself as a stylist.
22-year-old Michaela Patterson, who was known to many as Ruby, was a mother of 2 and worked at this Orlando hair salon for the past 8 months.
This is Ruby's suite.
The same suite where people have been dropping off flowers to show their respects. Her coworkers say she wanted to be a celebrity hairstylist and strengthen her faith.
We spoke on her spiritual journey. She said she wanted to have a better relationship with God.
She gonna be missed because she just had that great bubbly personality. Like, you always knew when she was here.
But now flowers and candles mark the spot where police say she was shot Friday.
But others hinted at long-standing tensions, unconfirmed but widely discussed in comment sections. In the days following her death, multiple fundraising campaigns were launched to assist with funeral expenses and provide for her children. One GoFundMe campaign surpassed $10,000 within 48 hours. Her salon chair at Envy Hair Designs was covered with roses and photos, becoming an impromptu memorial site. Several community vigils were held in her honor, one near the apartment complex, another in the downtown area where Ruby had previously worked. Balloons were released, candles lit, and prayers offered. But even at these gatherings, the atmosphere remained tense. Many attendees refused media interviews, citing fear and trauma. As the days passed, Ruby's name trended under hashtags like #JusticeForRuby and #WhoKilledRuby. Still, no additional suspects were named, and no further arrests were made. In the weeks leading up to Michaela Patterson's death, there were signs of conflict, some subtle, others more visible, raising questions about whether her killing was random or the culmination of brewing tension. Ruby, known publicly for her beauty business, also navigated a personal life that was far more complex than her social media persona suggested. Multiple sources familiar with Ruby's circle confirmed she had prior interactions, some positive, some hostile, with individuals who either lived at or were frequently present in the Jernigan Gardens apartment complex. At least one witness claims Ruby had visited the complex before, not as a resident but to see acquaintances or clients. These visits may have involved personal disputes, though specific names have not been publicly released. There is unconfirmed speculation that Ruby received threats days before the incident. While no formal police reports of threats were filed under her name, close friends and family have stated she had shared concerns about her safety in the days leading up to her death. Online posts hint at tension. In one of her now-archived Instagram stories, Ruby posted a cryptic message. "I stay myself, and they still find a reason to hate. SMH." It is unclear who the message was directed at. Orlando PD has not confirmed whether she was the intended target. However, investigators initially stated the shooting stemmed from an altercation and did not appear random. This raises a possibility that Ruby may have been a specific focus of the violence that night, or she may have walked into a dispute already in motion. Witnesses reported a large group argument escalating rapidly into a physical altercation in the apartment courtyard. Several participants were allegedly known to each other. The trigger for the confrontation remains undisclosed by authorities, but eyewitness statements suggest that Ruby was drawn into the fray shortly before gunfire erupted. Whether she intervened, attempted to de-escalate, or was simply caught in the chaos has not been publicly clarified. The location of the incident, Jernigan Gardens apartments, has a documented history of criminal activity. Local law enforcement logs list prior incidents ranging from domestic violence to firearms possession. Residents have previously raised concerns about insufficient security and poor lighting at the complex. In the year before Ruby's death, at least 2 separate gun-related arrests were made in or around the property. The presence of firearms at the scene is another central issue. Reports confirm multiple shots were fired, with several shell casings found. Delray Duncan Jr. was found in possession of a weapon matching one of the casings recovered. However, it is unclear whether his firearm was the one that struck Ruby. Police have not released ballistics results to confirm this. Weapons in the area are not uncommon. Orlando PD has noted that illegal firearm access is widespread, particularly in neighborhoods where background checks are bypassed through street purchases. Community members say it's not unusual for altercations to escalate quickly in environments where guns are readily available, especially among young adults with unresolved tensions. The broader question remains, was Ruby targeted due to personal animosity? Jealousy, professional envy, and interpersonal conflict have all been raised as possibilities. Ruby was known for her rapid rise in Orlando's beauty scene, earning visibility and clients that others may have envied. There's also talk of disputes unrelated to her business, possibly stemming from romantic connections or unresolved past arguments. But none of these theories have been confirmed by investigators. If Ruby had enemies, what were they rooted in? Jealousy? Business rivalry? Personal drama? Since the night of the shooting, the legal proceedings surrounding Ruby's death have unfolded slowly and without clear public resolution. The man arrested at the scene, Delray Shundale Duncan Jr., 23, was charged with first-degree felony murder and attempted homicide shortly after the incident. He was taken into custody on-site and later held without bond. According to court documents, Duncan's arraignment occurred in early October 2023. At that time, he was represented by a public defender. His attorney entered a not guilty plea on all counts. Since then, court proceedings have moved slowly, with multiple continuances requested by the defense due to evidence review delays. Duncan's legal team has not released any public statements on his behalf. There is no indication he has entered into a plea deal, nor has a trial date been formally set as of mid-2025. The absence of a clear timeline has caused frustration among Ruby's family and followers, many of whom express concerns over delays and silence from the court system. The Orlando Police Department has remained guarded in its updates. In press briefings, OPD representatives have only reiterated that the case remains under active investigation. No further suspects have been publicly named. Detectives have not clarified whether others involved in the fight may face charges. This lack of transparency has led to speculation that additional individuals may be involved or that authorities are working leads quietly to avoid compromising the investigation. The motive behind the shooting has also not been established by police. With no formal witness testimonies released and no prosecutorial narrative in court filings, the case's factual core remains largely unconfirmed. The absence of a motive complicates the public's understanding of what truly happened, and whether Ruby was intentionally targeted or collateral damage in a larger conflict. Ruby's family has spoken out multiple times. Her mother, in particular, has made it clear she believes Duncan is not the actual shooter. She has claimed publicly that someone else was responsible, suggesting that Duncan may be protecting someone or may have been misidentified. However, she has not named any specific individual nor provided evidence to support her claims. These statements have contributed to the ongoing uncertainty around the case. Without definitive answers, the community remains divided between those who believe the arrest brought the true perpetrator to justice and those who think the real story is being buried or misrepresented. As of now, no trial has taken place. Duncan remains in custody, awaiting further hearings. Prosecutors have yet to confirm whether they will seek a life sentence or pursue a lesser charge depending on emerging evidence. It is also unclear whether any plea negotiations are underway behind closed doors. Is justice truly being served, or just presented? The case of Michaela Ruby Patterson remains in a state of unresolved tension, caught between public outcry, limited legal movement, and the silence of key witnesses. Until those who were present at the scene speak up fully, and until police release more concrete findings, the question of how Ruby's life ended will remain only partially answered. Whether that silence protects someone or simply reflects a broken system has yet to be determined. More than 9 months after Michaela Ruby Queen Patterson's death, major questions remain unanswered. While a suspect has been arrested, key pieces of the timeline and motive are still unclear. With video evidence circulating online and witnesses reluctant to speak publicly, viewers are left to analyze a fragmented narrative. Why did the confrontation begin? The altercation on September 22nd, 2023, occurred in the courtyard of the Jernigan Gardens apartments in Orlando. Witnesses describe it as a chaotic brawl involving multiple individuals, but official reports have not confirmed what ignited the confrontation. No police affidavit has been made public detailing what sparked the escalation from verbal dispute to deadly violence. Some say Ruby was there to de-escalate a situation involving people she knew. Others claim she was caught off guard. What's missing is a clear explanation of the initial conflict and who it was really between, who filmed the viral clips, and what do they leave out. Several short video clips began circulating within hours of the incident. Recorded on cell phones, they show part of the altercation, including people shouting, a scuffle, and then the sound of gunfire. Ruby is seen only briefly before the video cuts off. It's unclear who filmed the clips or whether they were edited before being posted to social media. Law enforcement has not publicly stated whether they obtained the original, uncut footage. The videos do not show who fired the fatal shot. Without the full, unedited recordings, the public only has a partial view of the truth, one that omits key seconds. What was Ruby doing moments before the shooting? According to witness accounts, Ruby arrived at the complex just minutes before the incident. Some say she parked and walked directly into the courtyard where the fight was already in progress. Others allege she was called there by someone else. Surveillance footage from the building has not been released. Investigators have not confirmed whether Ruby was an intended participant in the confrontation or merely a bystander. Her final movements, who she spoke to, why she came, and whether she anticipated danger, remain unverified. Was there someone who warned her or set her up? One theory raised online is that Ruby was lured to the location. This theory is fueled by inconsistencies in timelines and the presence of individuals at the complex who Ruby had reportedly avoided in the past. Anonymous accounts suggest she may have received a call or message drawing her to the location under false pretenses. Ruby's family has questioned whether the confrontation was spontaneous or premeditated. Her mother has stated that the man charged in her daughter's murder is not the actual shooter. If true, this raises further questions about motive and involvement from others at the scene. So far, no additional arrests have been made, and no person has been publicly identified as having contacted Ruby shortly before the incident. Who benefits from her silence? Ruby's growing influence in the beauty industry and her presence on social media made her both visible and vulnerable. She was building a brand, gaining clients, and entering a competitive space. While there is no confirmed evidence linking her professional life to her death, police have not ruled out the possibility of personal or business-related conflict. The fact that no one from the crowd has come forward publicly with a full account suggests either fear or silence under pressure. If Ruby had knowledge about someone or something that could impact reputations or criminal exposure, her death could serve others by removing her voice from the narrative. Was she planning to confront someone that night? While some speculate Ruby arrived at the complex unaware of any danger, others suggest she may have gone there to resolve an issue. If she was involved in a prior dispute or disagreement, her presence at the apartment complex might not have been accidental. What Ruby expected to happen when she walked into the courtyard remains unknown. No text messages or social media posts from that evening have been released that would clarify her intent. What would Ruby say today if she could tell us how and why it really happened? Michaela Queen Patterson, known as Ruby, was a licensed cosmetologist, business owner, and mother of two. At 22, she had already gained a following online and was building a beauty empire in Orlando through her business Cure Co. She provided wigs, extensions, and makeup services, branding herself as a rising figure in the industry. She was more than a stylist. She was a symbol of what young women could achieve through hard work and self-promotion. But her rise was cut short in an act of violence whose details remain cloudy. Ruby left behind two sons, Messiah, age 5, and Zion, age 4, since her death. Family members have taken on the responsibility of raising her children and preserving her memory. The trauma of losing a mother at such a young age is compounded by the lack of closure surrounding her death. Her mother has been vocal in the community, seeking answers and questioning the narrative presented by law enforcement. Despite an arrest, she believes the full truth has not come to light. Ruby's impact extended beyond her clients. She was a mentor to aspiring stylists, a voice for entrepreneurial mothers, and a model of self-made success. Her business, once a growing enterprise, now stands as a frozen snapshot of potential unfulfilled. The social media pages she built remain active, with followers continuing to post tributes. Her digital presence has become a memorial, yet her brand story is incomplete without justice. As of now, the Orlando Police Department has confirmed the arrest of Delray Shundale Duncan Jr., age 23, on charges of felony murder and attempted homicide. No additional suspects have been publicly named, and no motive has been formally disclosed. Police have requested assistance from the public, but have not provided further case updates since late 2023. Law enforcement continues to seek information from anyone who was present at the Jernigan Gardens complex on the night of September 22nd. Anyone with first-hand knowledge, full video clips, or communication logs involving Ruby is urged to come forward. Anonymous tips can be submitted through Crime Line or directly to the Orlando Police Department's Violent Crimes Division. Ruby's case highlights a larger issue, the vulnerability of young women, especially those in the public eye, who lack adequate protection or community support. Violence against female entrepreneurs, especially in underserved communities, often goes underreported and unresolved. Without institutional safeguards, ambition can become a risk factor. Ruby's death is a reminder that influence does not equal safety. If you know something, say something. This documentary isn't just about what happened. It's about what still hasn't been said. Every witness, every message, every video could be a missing piece. Ruby's story deserves more than silence. It deserves resolution. If you found this story as gripping and heartbreaking as we did, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. And if you want to hear more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind these tragic events, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest stories, updates, and discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey to seek justice and explore the truth. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.